Recording. Welcome to the second session of the possibility coaching training, and I'm still greeting you from Czechnia, from the possibility coaching bridge house, which is now full of possibilitators. And for the beginning, I want to open a mini logistics space, and one is that Leslie thought, oh, there is another person coming, but Leslie is joining with her computer.
That's me.
Great. Then tomorrow there will be an EHP dojo, right, Marina?
Progress.
Marina, there will be
No, yeah. It's on Monday.
It's on Monday. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Monday morning. Yeah, SAS time actually.
Yeah. So would you bring this into the space fully, because you placed it in the group, but like invite us into this space?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The next Monday I won't be in Europe, so I won't join the EHP dojo. But from the other Monday, which will be the, I think, 24th, there's this Monday EHP dojos that happen at 8:30 in Europe, like SAS time. So, and it's a possibility to people that cannot join during night or during evening, who is in the Europe time. And yeah, I have this difficult for me to join during the evenings, and I decide with other people to create this space.
Great. Nevertheless, it will happen next Monday, right? Even you are not there, it will happen. Okay, just to make this clear.
If someone wants to join the group, I think
you posted it. You posted it in the group, the link. You already put it in.
Mm-hmm.
Just to check, is 8:30 a.m. or p.m.?
A.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a morning possibility, because yesterday we had the Tuesday evening dojo, and this is the opportunity to come together also for you. And I did not see anyone from you joining. So I propose make it happen. These are extraordinary spaces where you can come and you will find a space holder, and you can already practice holding space and also receiving. It's so simple, because the space is already there. You not even need to ask that someone is joining. You click the link and you go.
And this is a great offering too, to if you want to become the space holder of a new EHP dojo, this is another way to get great practice with clients, and also to invite your circles to, especially people who are possibilitators in the making.
Yeah, and there are people you don't know probably, which is great. Then you have new people to hold space for. Cool. So then another logistics, we have 2 sessions which are a bit different than what we do, like today, for example, and the feedback and coaching sessions. There's one Q&A session planned, and I asked Vera, and she said yes. So on the 23rd of November, we will have a Q&A session with Vera. So, of course, your questions are already welcome, also through this research until the end of November. But nevertheless, if you're having hot questions, or we will evolve and create new questions which are hot bubbling, then for this call. And if you have especially some for Vera, you directly want to ask her, then keep it for the 3rd of November. And Another special session is on the 16th of November, 1 week earlier. I won't be there. And this, the kind of the umbrella of this session will be non-linearity. And I invited Devin Gleason, to join as a space holder and will hold space together with Nicole. So that you already know this. This is set up, and yeah, Devin is a master of gremlin non-linearity. So you will
What
have
time?
fun. I think it's the 7. We start at 7 then. Let me check. No, it's from 6. Same time as today. Like it's a 2.5-hour session on the 16th. Cool. So any other logistics? Katrin?
I will miss the class next week.
Okay. Thank you.
And I can just share that I broke my leg or my ankle this weekend at hockey practice, which has sort of impacted my capacity to do various things. So just like for your information. And also opened obviously some interesting questions of why did that happen right now? So things to explore.
Cool. Yeah. Great doorways to open up, even painful doorways. Thank you. Any more logistics? If not, 3, 2, 1. Logistics closed. Then, as I already said in the chat, or wrote in the chat, Charlotte is a new board member, or like a team member, steward of this ship. Together we are cruising around in the domain of possibility coaching, and I want you, Charlotte, to bring yourself into the space. We heard all the voices already last week, and so that you onboard yourself.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes. Hello, my name is Charlotte, and I am from California originally, and I'm now living in Portugal with my partner in the south. And let's see, I have been working with possibility management for about 2 years, and was originally found it through a friend that I met at a medicine ceremony named Jeff, and he kind of was carrying this energetic frequency way of being with clarity and presence, and I thought to myself, I want what he has. And so I went up and talked to him, and I was like, what is this? How do you behave like this? And he told me all about PM, and so I started coaching with him, and then went to the ETBs and the labs, and I have really integrated it into my coaching, which I was already doing before I came into PM, working as an astrologer and a yoga teacher. So it's been really, really impactful, because my journey started with yoga, and the yoga was so important for me at the time, but I was so craving like the masculine of spirituality. Like it was all, learning so much about how to be in the flow and how to connect to your bright principles, but the underworld was never like, I never understood that. So I'm really drawn to this work because I found how important it is to understand my underworld and to go into it. And so I'm using that in my coaching, and I'm really looking for new ways to up level and increase my coaching capacity and skills, and discover like what is possible with possibility coaching. How can I really help support my clients like in ways that I can't even see yet? So
Cool.
That's me. And yeah, I'm in South Portugal. My partner and I are co-creating a small community, and we're just at the beginning phases, and there's a lot of things coming up as we do this, emotions and pain points, and like how do we really co-create. And so I'm in a liquid state with what I'm creating in my life right now.
Yay.
To
Thank you. What a great place to be, in a liquid state. Yay.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
for joining, and
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks,
welcome.
Isabel and Christine and Nicole. And really to see all of you, and yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And you will be together with Marina, Leslie, and Katrin in now a 4-cell, not a 3-cell anymore. Great. So somehow manage how to link Charlotte in to your group. Probably you have already a Telegram group for that. Today's session is about how to work with newbies, and we already started the little experiment last week, where you were thrown into this experiment of holding space, and within 5 minutes to land this undoable task of delivering the map of the old and the new map of feeling. And I think it was already shaking somehow, like, how do I do this, and how is it possible? And these are the questions we want to ponder today into, and move on in this territory of working with newbies. And what came to me today in a research is that here in the house we had a session about boundaries, and my realization was that, especially with newbies, for me it was so important to that you, or like what I see is that you develop a sense of being a boundary for the new person entering into your space. And what I mean with being a boundary is that you are shifting identity, that you're shifting your identity into a possibility coach, and no longer, for example, a yoga teacher, or a massagist, or other identities you might have, but that you shift your whole being identity into a possibility coach, which has a different context than probably other methods and methodologies you might also have in your backpack. Nevertheless, it's already at pinging out into the world, having a different shape and having a different boundary, being a different person, or being a different identity, is gives the client a different attraction point. So what I mean with this is that when the client comes and you are wobbly in your context, and you're not holding the clarity in what you are representing, and for what you are taking a stand for, and for what you have you are a yes for possibility coaching, for the possibilities, for exactly holding space, for not a teaching and not an advice, but like opening doors into new domains, then the person will have expectations in a different way, because your signals, what you're giving out into the world, are not clear. So my realization was that being a boundary for clients is so, especially for new clients, I would say it's really helpful to shift them into the new context, because they, as strong as your boundary is inside of you as a being, the yes to what you are, as more the energetic distinction will land in them while they are joining your space, because you're kind of, they're coming into the door, and already before, but physically or energetically, they will realize this is a different space than they were in before, and that this is one practice, one skill, that you hold your inner boundary. You know who you are and what you are representing, and that has nothing to do with your gremlin ego state or your gremlin, like the ego in itself, but it's like this adult understanding, and also on an archetypal level, who you are, what is throwing through you, which container you are holding inside of yourself, which inner structure is there, which inner structure you are holding, and the clarity in itself. And this would then be the bridge into that your client is bridged into the first phase of feelings work. That as soon as the client is realizing, oh, something is different here, you're already cracking open the next door into this territory of, okay, like here it's different. You can feel, here's a bucket, there's a towel, there are tissues, and everything is possible and wanted. And exactly into this territory we want to dive in and to experience, and that you train yourself how to do that. And before also we do this, we want to collect what you already kind of make a collection, what you would bring into the space in the first session, what you want to deliver, that we are collecting this together in this space. And that would be the next step or next move. Nicole, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I want to say, you touched on it, Christina, that this all starts before you're even in a session. And this is why we started with the poster, because what your poster communicates is already, there's so many subtle distinctions that are communicated through your poster, that like when Charlotte was telling about when she first met Jeff, so that there's this clarity, there's this something there, these archetypal qualities in your poster that make it clear that this is something else. This is not the usual therapies and modalities. This is possibility coaching, and it's a doorway. You are the doorway to possibilities. You're the bridge to infinite possibilities alongside your clients. And there's a lot to, of course, as you all have experienced while you've been studying and using possibility management, there are so many distinctions and maps and tools that are part of that. And there's so much to deliver to your clients. And in especially the first session, using your scanners and noticing skills like we practiced last week to pick up on which distinction, which map, which tool might come next. And this collection that we want to do with you right now is like, what's the menu? What are all the things on the menu in this first phase of conscious feelings work? So in this EHP warm-up dojo, what are the first distinctions, maps, and tools? Like, what are the cluster of distinctions, maps, and tools that you kind of want on the smorgasbord, ready to deliver to newbie clients? And we can, write all these in your notes, and then we'll create a document where this list can be you can refresh yourself with it, and you can use it to practice. You can use it as sometimes possibilities for work talks. So for example, the map of 4 feelings. the new map and the old map that we worked with last week, for all 4 of the feelings, that would be, you know, one of the things at the top of the list of this collection. And the distinction between feelings and emotions. This might come very early in a call or in a session. What else would you add to this list?
I want
What
to.
is low drama? Like to talk about low drama and the drama triangle.
Yeah.
The numbness bar.
The numbness bar. Yeah, thank you.
The mixing of feelings, I think, is also something that plagues a lot of people.
Yeah, mixing feelings.
I want
Yeah,
to.
but I have a question to the thing you said though about the being a boundary. I don't know if this is a place to ask for clarification.
Let's finish. Let's finish the list, and I will speak more about that.
I want to add something in the list. It's the scanning and have the landing in the space. So setting the context about radical responsibility. This week I collect some feedbacks, and I received 2 feedbacks from people that didn't come back. So made the first session and then didn't come back. And I asked what happened, and the feedback that she said is like, I was with a problem and we went in different direction, so it didn't work for me. And what I collect from this feedback is like, this person arrived in me and I didn't put this bordering in the first session about, it's not about fix you. So the distinction about two-phase healing and 3-phase healing, where the goal of the possibility coaching is not to fix the person, because these 2 people that came with expectation to be fixed it, this problem, this unique problem, but there's so much layers and it's impossible to be fixed, like to have a problem solved in this way. So radical responsibility, the context, and the phases of healing, 2 and 3 phases.
Can you say something about the phases of healing? I just one of you words. Maybe I forgot what that was.
Gabriela, do you want to say something about that?
2 phases healing and 3 phases healing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I know, but I forgot.
Yes, that the 2 phases healing is a way where model culture, you have a problem. So if something happened in your life and you go to a therapist, you go to a doctor, you go to somewhere to be fixed. So you go to that person, save you, and you come back and be okay. So the first goal of 2-phase healing is you be fixed and you become okay again. So you came back to the same life. And the 3-phase healing is the context of possibility coaching, is where you have a problem, something not working anymore in your life, and you looking for possibility coaching, for example. You look for a session, and the purpose of the session is conduce this person, is hold the space to this person go liquid and change the shape. So this person change the shape and she not come back where she will never be the same person after. And doesn't mean that she be fixed it, but she changed her shape and she is a new person. She become a new person. Her being become a new person.
Yeah, thank you. It was just the word liquid state, and I remember everything. I was just a little confused. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Also, it could be also box. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Can I go? Oh, yeah. I thought about the difference between box and ego states. Also, it could be also at the beginning of the session.
Yeah. or what I just heard, like the liquid state. What is a liquid state? People have no idea what that mean. I even created a card, what to do during a liquid state. So I'm check if I have it in English. If yes, like I will. If not, I will translate it and provide it to you. the liquid state card for clients.
The map of the 5 bodies is really useful before doing the 4 feelings, because without awareness of the emotional body, that it exists, and like that, then yeah.
So yeah, I added this to the list, 5 bodies.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I work with a lot of people in the new age like world, and sometimes the map of 3 worlds can be helpful. Simple, and it's easy to explain.
A distinction that
Does
comes up.
everyone knows like the 3 worlds? Okay. So there's a middle world, there's an upper world. Yeah. Okay. Good. Got that. Nico?
I'm a map or a distinction that I come back to, and sometimes it even surprises me, is the distinction that feeling is not thinking, thinking is not feeling. And even sometimes with experienced, EHP deep divers, sometimes this noticing that someone's going into their head and not down into their where they feel is, so bringing that in early and often. And the intensities also.
What?
And also talk about mixed feelings, that feelings can be mixed and can be a depression or a helplessness.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian was also mentioning this. It's on the list. Great. Nicole, you wanted to, you said something before Isabel said something. Like intensities, you said?
Oh, yes, intensities about, this goes with the numbness bar, that feelings, that when I'm looking to, when I say what I'm feeling, that I'm usually talking about the feeling that I feel in the highest intensity. And the distinction that I can feel all 4 feelings about anything, and that the ability to turn up my intensity of feelings consciously is something that it's a skill to develop. And this comes into the map of, or the distinction that feelings can be felt between, 0, maybe 1% and 100%. And that goes along with the numbness bar. And the distinction on the map of mixed feelings, and I find this is gold for some people, to give them the clarity that when feelings are mixed, they're not as useful, and that when feelings are unmixed, then they can be used, and when they're used in their pure form, they're most useful.
Drawing off of what Nicole said, I more and more I want to work with people who are wanting to embody conscious purpose, not just wanting to heal, but wanting to heal for the sake of embodying conscious purpose in the world. And with that, the distinction of phase 1 feelings work and phase 2 feelings work can be really helpful too.
Can you talk about more about the conscious purpose, Jessie?
I guess the distinction that I often deliver with that is that you are acting with purpose all the time. A lot of the motivator for your purpose are feelings and emotions. If emotions are motivating your purpose, you're acting with unconscious purpose, vengeance, domination, superiority. These are all purposes that you may go about acting out in your life. If you're acting from low intensity conscious feelings, then you are empowered to act with conscious purpose in the world. I feel this, I feel angry about this, and so I do this. I feel scared about this, and so I do this. And so it's a shift from having your emotions empower unconscious purpose to having your feelings empower conscious purpose.
Yeah, and I would add, it's not only low level. Because actually for space holding and for holding space for a bigger group, you already use a high intensity of anger to hold the clarity and the sword and the purpose of the space in the radical responsible field. And also that, for example, dragon speaking is quite high, and it has a purpose. It has a purpose of speaking out what is necessary. And coming back to your question, Aeon, about being a boundary, it's probably it's very new, like this understanding of being a boundary. It's still new to me too. So we just discovered it this afternoon, that when I'm shifting in a different identity, my energetic shape is different. Therefore, I am a different boundary. I am a different. I'm setting a boundary which is relating to people, and I say yes and no, and this is what I not want, and it's more a relational boundary setting. But becoming a different identity and knowing what your purpose is, what your conscious purpose is, and you go for what you want, and you say, this is my life, this is my purpose, this is what I do, and this is why I'm here for. I'm serving healing and transformation, what Charlotte said before. Then she is her shape is shifting into this shape, and this shape is a boundary.
But see, that was sort of my question, because I mean, boundaries you usually talk about as using anger to set boundaries, and what you were talking about sounded a bit like cavitating a space or holding like you create a different context, and I fully understand how that the way you live your life, all the little things you do outside of the session, is important aspects of living that space and being able to hold that space. But I was just curious if there is this distinction between cavitating a space and being a boundary, or because I just felt that these things were being confused a little bit, perhaps. So I just wanted to address this possible difference between being a boundary and cavitating a space. Is that the same thing, or is it two different things?
It's two different things. Cavitating a space means there is already space in a space, in a container, and you are where already is space. You are cavitating space. It's this. I'm not the physics.
I mean, cavitating a space is by definition creating a space where there is no space.
Where there is no
to
space,
cavitate
and
something.
where there is already space. For example, the bubbles in the liquid, which are starting to bubble up, there is already something. There is already space, and still there is mass, and still it starts to cavitate. It still forms these bubbles along the how do you say, the glass when you pour in the Coca-Cola or whatever, like drink with gas, and of course, if you're cavitating space, you're holding a space, but it's more holding a space and you're inhabiting this space. And what I'm speaking about being a boundary is more internally, that your being has a different shape. But nevertheless, let it ferment for a while. I think it's pretty new, and it can also evolve. So this is just our cutting edge research here in the Bridge House, and probably it will shift also and shape itself. I want to add another distinction before we move on. I would also, it depends if it's necessary, add in the gremlin. Like, who's the gremlin? What is this gremlin thing all about? Or like the shadow purpose. Like minimum, is it okay which purpose you have, and is there a shadow purpose or is there a bright principle purpose, and which also referring to all these ego states. But yeah, to bring the gremlin somehow in depends where the new client is. Cool.
And another map that would be super high at the top of the list is the map of first position and the distinctions that are part of that map. So being centered, grounded, and bubbled.
Yeah. Cool. Great. So what we thought about is that you go in groups of 3 or 4, and that you have 10 minutes each, and you setting the context. You're setting the context, and it's not already like delivering a map, what we found, but setting a context.
Christina,
And
do you want to do that before the
yes,
putting this?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to put this at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, and before we break out into breakout rooms, I want to collect also a bit more of, even this was context setting, like distinctions and delivering maps. Nevertheless, what would you put in as context setting, very basic? For example, okay, this is a radical responsible space. It's experience-based, what we are here doing. Or I'm not your healer. It's like I'm guiding you, and like really basic steps to or like feelings are welcome. Right? I will not talk with you the whole hour. I will make you feel, and probably this will be, from your perspective, painful, or you will reach resistances, like how to bridge them into this space of radicalness, and that your way of doing it is you're opening doors, and it's their responsibility to go through. You will probably point in them, but it's not you will go with them on your hand and pass over. It's like, this is the door, do you want to go through? And I will treat you like an adult. I will not treat you as a child, and I will not treat you as a victim who needs to be rescued. And so you can also then weave in the low drama. But the and what would you add? Like how, like here in the space we have experienced coaches. Like, how do you do that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
About that you said that, yeah, about saying that the person is a victim, or bringing that distinction.
I said, I will not treat you like a victim. I will not rescue you. This is
Okay.
what I said.
Okay, yes. And you will say that to that person? I will not treat you.
It depends. It depends. If they would sit in front of me and would say, please help me, do something with me, I would say, okay, what do you want? What do you want? And then I would bring this distinction and would say, I'm not here to rescuing you. I'm supporting you on your journey, and I'm with you, but I'm not doing it for you. I'm not fixing you, like Gabriella said, and I will not allow it. Kind of like, actually, this is the commitment. I'm not allowing you to stay in the victim space. It's like, I will not make you, I will not emphasize your victim state. I will point it out and say, look, I think in which, like, after, of course, having drawn the low drama map, you can explore where is the person. But yeah, I would say it like this. Probably not in the first 10 minutes, but a bit later, when it's necessary. Yes, I would do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's about really radical responsibility, and it's not bullshitting. It's not fluffy, puffy, being nice to the person. It's not helping. It's really not helping. To, of course, you don't be a mean person, but it's like playing nice is not helping. Yeah. So
Something that's important for me to bring to people. I mean, just first, it's like really people are coming with all sorts of different ideas about why they're there. And so it's hard to kind of lay down like a fixed like a context, because I'm usually responding to the person, what they're bringing, what they're saying. But a lot of times what I end up saying, because a common thing that people show up with is, I want to feel better. And my response is, I'm not here to help you feel better. I'm not actually here to help you feel well. And if you're really looking for someone to help you feel well, there are lots and lots of people who can help you do that, but I'm not one of them. And so like that, so oftentimes I lose clients because of that first bit. And which is great, because we weren't there for the same reason. So
yeah, and that's
but specifically, I'm not here to help you feel well. You might feel amazing after the session. You may feel in ecstasy for the next day or week or month. You may feel like in a deep liquid state for the next day or week or month too. But the purpose of this is to help you step into your purpose, step into your conscious purpose in the planet. So I'm here to help people step into there. It's not just about healing for me, and this is specific to me. Like, I'm no longer interested in helping people feel better. And so it's another purpose. But that, yeah.
Yeah, cool. It's also this being dangerous and being a conscious asshole for a while, because you choose so. It's not that you are an asshole. No, you're an conscious asshole because it's necessary in the space to put your. It's actually, you will never put your sword down. If you would be a nice person, but you are not. You have your sword on the throat, and you are with the other person. You're with your client through thick and thin. Nevertheless, it's like you are not playing nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm not here. I like that. I have it on my list, Jesse. That's cool. Anything
Will you
else?
make us co-host so we can record in the small groups?
Yes. I will do one person. I will give co-host, and okay, and that's it. So anything what you want to add? From your experience? No. Okay.
I was thinking about the tools when you do, when you do the removing blocks, or the tools that the person can really access. And
probably this will come a bit later, but yes, like it's not in the first half an hour, I would say, that you present what energetic blocks they can undo. Besides, they come exactly for that, but then they already know about PM. It's now we are focusing on they have no idea.
One of the things that really was exciting to me was when I was new was the idea that this whole everything that we're doing here is made up. It's a story, and someone used the term bullshit, and it's the most empowering story I know. And so I'm choosing it because it works for me. So you have that option also.
Cool. Okay, thank you. So
because every time
I just want to add another thing that
Leslie, will you finish?
Just every time that I would think, oh, people are never going to go for that, snap grounding cord or the gremlin or whatever, I just think, well, they go to church and they go, they worship this icon on the cross, and they have a lot of stories that they do. So so maybe they can just see that's that story, and there's another story, and how does the one that you live work for you?
Yeah, that's an important question to ask. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Marina, before we fly into the spaces.
Yeah, I was thinking about when Leslie said at the beginning, when she started to know PM, I remember that check-in for me was really something really new. And I remember check-in, like really going to the feelings and saying, I'm feeling sad because of that.
Yeah, this is the first phase of feelings work. Yeah, cool, great. Nevertheless, like the first breakout is about context setting in your first session, and you are in groups of 4. 2 are in groups of 4, and then I spread you in your 3 cells, right? Like and your 4 cells. You're working with your team, and choose one client, or actually you can also have 2 clients. It's also possible, and they are receiving, they receive you, and you have all together you have 40 minutes, like 10 minutes per person, and I will write you to shift to the next person, but it's about that you have around 7 minutes to deliver and practice, and then you get 3 minutes of feedback and coaching. And while you do this, also give feedback and coaching, not too long, really precise, so that the coaching does not eat the time. Yeah, and then you shift from person to person. And there's the one group with 3, you will have more time, so you have 13 minutes per person.
Just to be clear, we have 14 minutes per person. Is that correct?
No, you in your group where you are, you have 13 minutes per person. Yeah, great.
Did you say 13?
13 in the 3 group, like all together, it's 40 minutes. 40 all together. And
Oh,
10 minutes per person. But there's
10.
one group with 3 and they have more time. Cool. Okay, so let's have fun. I will jump around.
come on, come on. Oh,
Yeah, you need to accept. Great.
The possibilities that are available to you are the ones you can see are so limited compared to the ones that exist. And in our work together, this is what will happen is this creating of possibilities by sometimes painfully making your box go liquid, this part of you that's fixed in its ways, that has beliefs and opinions and patterns,
and snap that idea, snap that center into your center, where so it will. Yes.
Leslie, I'm confused. I'm curious if this is actually context setting. This seems like you're teaching us the map about centering and.
Yes, I am introducing context setting. So I am sneaking in some context, some teaching.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And what if we snapped again, and from that center, physical center, with our energy on our center, a grounding cord sprouts out of that center into the center of the earth, so that we are now grounded.
Yeah, and Leslie, like really, I don't know how you started, but say, bridge the person into your space. And when you do the centering exercise, that's probably a bit further down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's still about actually painting the picture of possibility management. What is a possibility coaching session all about? What is that? Like what they do, what they can actually really expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Go.
A possibility coaching session is a way for you to enter, to go on a journey. You're going on the journey. I'm opening some doors, maybe pointing some directions. It's an extraordinary space where you have a chance to find out for yourself what is happening in you. What are you feeling? What emotions in you need healing?
May I say something, Beep? Leslie.
Go. Yeah.
Go.
Give feedback
Okay.
and coaching. The coaching is the important part. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
There is a drama triangle, and there is the rescuer, the persecutor, and the victim. So these are like the 3 positions. And the victim is more in the space like, oh, poor me, I cannot do anything about nothing. I cannot.
Isabel?
Yes.
Like this is not a space for delivering maps. It's about building kind of painting the picture of possibility management. It's what do they expect when they are with you? And team, give her possibilities. How probably she already done it, I don't know. It's like, but give her possibilities how she can do that instead of already delivering a map. And you have 2 minutes to give her feedback right now, and then shift to the next person.
Yeah,
Thank you.
For me, works in the beginning when you bring up, like, started to make questions why you are here.
We're creating possibilities together. This box will expand and go liquid and get cracks in it. And this is how new possibilities will be created. And I'm on your team about that.
Wow, I'm so curious how we're gonna make this box crack and liquids inside. Oh, okay. How are we gonna do that? How do I reach those possibilities out there? Because I don't want to be in this box team. Yeah.
Cool. What I want to begin with is to walk you through something called first position. And this is like the ready position for possibility creating. And it starts when you
so you can slowly like wrap up, and then you have 3 minutes for coaching, feedback and coaching, and then you shift to the next person. So keep your rhythm somehow in mind, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, because you have 3 more minutes, and then your shift, and then again you have 30 minutes.
Okay, great.
What time are we all done with this? Because I forgot to note down the whole exercise is finished. What time?
It's now exactly in half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay.
Yeah. Do you see the countdown in the corner, Ian?
Yeah, there's a countdown in the corner.
Ah, thank you. No, thank you very much for alerting me to that. I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so team, will you both give me feedback and coaching about my context setting?
I missed your feelings. I missed the connection with me, like as a client. It seemed like you were saying things that you learn and not really the things that you live in your body and it was more in your head. Like I didn't see the PM in your bodies coming through.
So team, wrap it up and move to the next person.
Yeah, for me it is important to say thank you that you go first. And I appreciate the way you are doing makeovers. So you are pushing yourself to do it in another way and go. And what worked for me was the word extraordinary.
Thank you.
Cool. Who's next?
Yeah, I can go next.
Marina, you're a space holder. If you say I can go next, who has to decide?
No, yeah. I'm the space holder now.
No.
I'm the coach.
Yes. And you said I can go next. And I said you are a space holder. Who do you think will decide that?
My box.
Probably when you say you can, but then what will you do about that?
I was asking. It seemed that I was asking them. Yeah. So I'll go next.
Great. You'll go next. Super. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm here. I'm glad that you came in this session. I want to talk more about this possibility coach. It seems very new, seem very new for you, because it's the context here, it's very different from therapist places. In the therapy, you will come to say about your problems, and probably you might come with your problems and ask for a help, ask for to be fixed and to be solved, to solve your problems. We are here, I'm here to navigate with you in this journey. And the more we go in this journey, the more you go, and I'm going with you in this journey, the more you will see that your ship will have more, we call here metrics. You build metrics with a responsibility, because now you are here assuming your trip, the trip of your life. Now you are navigating with your boat, and in this journey you will start to create this matrix. The more matrix you have, the more information about yourself, the things that comes from your, we call here bright principles, which comes from the things that your being wants, and also really to see the underworld. So we have 3 worlds here. And the more you start to see your shadow and really go into these parts of you that can hold back from your projects and your life, also your connection to life and connection to other people, with relationships with other people. And the more you start to really see all these parts of you, the more you will start to navigate in you feel that you are the driver of your ship. And we are also talking about here, one of the very important thing here is about the distinction between emotions and feelings. Feelings are very important information that can be a fuel of your trip, of this ship, because when you are talking about feelings, it's something that you are connecting to your the things that is happening now. The feelings can only takes the duration can be only up to 3 minutes. If you start to think to feel something that can last more than 3 minutes, you
Marina?
probably you are feeling you having okay.
I think you're great. You're doing great. I want to add on an experiment. Don't use the word can. And say the same thing without using ongoingly can, because of course people can. They can, but obviously they cannot, because that's why they are with you, no? And they want to learn. They want to learn. And you can implies that they can. So frame it differently, use different words and say feelings are, and not can do that, but feelings are providing this. And feelings last 3 minutes, and then they're passing through your body, and then they're gone. They did their duty. And yeah, because you're good in this. You did this already, I guess. And I know it's also not your mother tongue English. Nevertheless, I know, yeah, shift, go. Shift, beep, no, beep, shift, go. So, and use not can. Great. And I'm flying to the next one. And team, be with her. Be with her. Also, like, yeah. Be with
her. Marina, I have a feedback as well.
In that moment when you picked up the rock, and at the same time you didn't ask her about her fear, like what is fear for you? You are just putting stories about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I start over this part. Vianetta, I listen you saying that you don't want to feel scared, And I want to ask why you don't want to feel scared.
Because it keeps me away from a lot of things.
So when you feel scared, you keep your away from a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Here in this space, I present you a new possibility to you navigate with your feeling. And probably this fear that you bring that keep you away from things is not a feeling, is an emotion. And the difference between the feeling and emotion is that the emotion is not from the past, it's from the past. It's not from the present, it's from the past. So you are projecting something from the past in your life right now. And I have the assumption that this, and I want to check out with you, if this fear that you feel is you feel just right now, or you use it to feel in another moment in your life.
So slowly wrap up and shift to feedback and coaching. And then you have 1.5 minutes and then you shift to the next person.
Okay.
So team, feedback, coaching for Gabriella.
Sorry, I didn't hear your last sentence, Gabriella, because Christine just said we had to coach.
Yeah, I propose close the space now and jump into the coachings and feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a way in which, Gabriella, you're still, I think, trying to be nice to the client to make sure that they're okay with you. It's like a way maybe like that you've learned to develop rapport or
last part,
trying to rapport. I don't know the word in Portuguese. Anyway, it's like to develop the relationship so that the person likes you and so that they trust you. So there's a way in which it seems like you're navigating the space with this kind of tiptoeing a little bit and being careful so that the person will like you and that they'll trust you. And I think that you're losing clarity when you do that. You're using more words than you need to sometimes. And so the coaching is more sword and yeah, be at that edge. Like there's fear there where you're trying to be nice. There's fear there where you're trying to make sure the person likes you. I'm scared that they won't like me. So be at that edge of your fear. Be scared that they won't like you. Let yourself be scared that they won't like you. Do something that has enough sword that you feel that fear. Because you have the clarity. You have the clarity, and you're not saying certain things because of this fear that they're not going to like you, or they're not going to trust you or be open to you.
Yeah, and you can even say, like, try the experiment to say, you will hate me, and I'm okay with that. Then I did a great job.
Yeah, I have had the same sense that the fear, even when Jessie gave you the first feedback, the fear, not the anger rises, the fear was even higher. And yes, so there is a mixed emotion in this moment.
Okay, thank you. And then shift to the next person.
Well, thank you for the feedback, Tim.
Okay, I'll be the next possibilitator. Who wants to be my client?
I want to be the client now.
Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, what really worked for me was the whole, everything you said, like the beginning was a very clear explanation. It sounded very invited, very interesting, like, oh yeah, I want this. What do you have there for me? And then what didn't work after Nicole asked the question about, okay, I want to get started, I would have used this possibility to just, okay, let's get right started. So first position, this is how we start. And then she can experience the magic within possibility management without telling her about something that is magic. But I kind of got a bit confused in there, like what are we gonna do now? Because then you explain something that might sound weird, but when you experience it, you can feel that, this can work. Like, okay, that's my feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we actually have 4 minutes extra here. I got delivered it pretty quickly. Maybe somebody could just, this first position thing is a little bit unclear to me. Somebody just, what is this?
The first position is centering, centered, bubbled, grounded.
Ah, okay.
That's it.
It's very simple.
Yeah, I always explain.
Why don't we just go on, and then we can maybe use the time that is in the end to evaluate the whole thing.
Yeah, go ahead. You arrange yourself. Cool. Who's
So
next? Like Jennifer,
I'll
you.
be the client this time. Jennifer, set the context.
Go
I'm the
ahead.
coach. Yes. Who's my client? Aeon, is it right? Yes. Okay. So hello, Aeon. Welcome to this first session of possibility coaching.
Thank you.
Yeah, very welcome. Did you ever heard about possibility coaching before?
Oh, never.
No. Okay. So first, let me explain what is possibility coaching. Possibility coaching is.
Yeah, you've said a couple of times, and my coaching is get centered and hold yourself more in an adult and not so much a nice girl box.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Go.
So possibility coaching is a way to explore what possibilities are out there that you haven't seen or explored until now. We all grew up within this society with our parents, with our own belief systems, our own opinions, which created our box. We call that in possibility with possibility coaching, we use the word box, and within this box here are all your beliefs, all your opinions, the way you actually it's your
question so far.
It's pretty comprehensive and clear, and it addresses why the person is there and what it isn't. Liquid state, I think maybe, I don't know if that it's too soon for that, but yeah, it seemed very clear, and I liked how slow it was, and definitely you were landing it, what you were saying.
Yeah, I also appreciate the speed that you went, and I also love how each time where everyone's taking the feedback and incorporating it, and like we're building like a really beautiful matrix around this. And I feel that you took a lot of what both Leslie and Marina did, and with your spirit and your ideas, and it really worked. And I noticed that there's like the context actually doesn't take that long before suddenly like there's a desire to start giving the teaching kind of, or like teaching the map. So I wonder like where the line is of like, how much, how to do the transition, because I noticed it happens really quick. Like there's a couple of context things and then suddenly you're talking about liquid state. So it's like I really wonder about like how much of this can you really give to someone in the beginning. Like I feel after the first 3 minutes, I felt this is not about you, but this is just in general, that like it was starting to become overwhelming already. So anyways, that's just maybe a question for Christine.
Yeah, and that's also really a good hint what you can also bring into the group, that even we have the desire of delivering all the maps and every distinction, and it's almost bombarding the person. In 10 minutes they are dead.
Yeah.
They're overwhelmed, is like, I cannot follow you anymore. And of course we want to have them in a liquid state, and if they're just how do you say, blanking out or not burning out, but yeah, falling away and falling apart, it does not help. And so I would say the magic of context setting is to say it again, like 2 or 3 times, actually the same thing, but a bit different. So it can really land in all bodies. And because as we know, when we read something, we read it with our mind, and then it's only the mind which is penetrated, and the mental body is like, yeah, I know. And then you read it a second time, and slowly it's like, oh, it's landing in maybe more in energetics or more in the emotional body. And then you got it 3 times. It's like, and this is the same procedure, I would say, like say it over and over again. Even you might think like your box would freak out and it's like, I already said that, or your gremlin would say, you're repeating yourself. But nevertheless, it's like it's this learning spiral, and some are rapid learners and they get it, but they mainly get it in their mind. Kind of say it 2 or 3 times, whatever you want to say, and then you need these 10 minutes, and it's also kind of a landing time for them. Like I would not, in the first 10 minutes, I would not deliver a map. It's like, it's just not, it's too overwhelming, especially for a really new person, never heard about possibility management, and was referred probably from a colleague and said, yeah, my best friend said you are great. That's why I'm here. And then like, okay, holy moly. This is possibility management. Yay, you got the jackpot. Woohoo. So, and then you open the box and, and bring them into the space. Cool. So 10 minutes, you have the 4th round. Cool. Who's next?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Hello, welcome to the space of possibility coaching. I'm going to start by setting the context for you. And the context is basically the circumstances in which we are operating.
Because I didn't notice that you had something prepared. I noticed you really with her where she was. And one feedback is when she started to speak a lot, you didn't point out about the complaining in the child, because she started to bring about the child state, and you could use it like you are using right now, for example. Use more sword in this moment when she was using the child behavior to point out, like giving an X on the map to her about the child contamination, that she is there for it, that was she looked for you.
Thank you.
And also what came to me is because, yeah, it was funny thing for me in this moment because I have this mess here and I have this child mess here, and to like ask, why are you laughing at? What is funny? And like to ask why I'm laughing. Because it was a little bit my gremlin protecting me to feel, so yeah. What is really going on?
Okay, who's the last person?
It's me.
Okay.
And
Sarah, go ahead. You have
okay.
8 minutes. Cool.
Who wants to be my client? Jessie?
I will be coach, so.
Hi, hello, Jessie.
Hi, Vanita.
What can I do for you?
I want help in breaking my addiction to technology, like like cell phone and computer screens and cell phone screens.
Okay. Are you familiar with the possibility coaching and this? Because then I would just try to do a coaching on you?
I'm a little bit familiar, but I've never met you before.
I
So
will
I would-
pause for a second, Vianetta. He brings something, and I sense that you jump for something with your mind. And my invitation is to you being with him, what with just bring it to the space with you.
Okay,
You go.
thank you. So what is this technology that you are using? What is it giving you?
What is it giving me?
Yeah, why do you spend so much time on the computers and cell
We-
phones?
Well, yeah.
Another possible, yeah, this purpose. Go with the purpose.
Yeah, what is the purpose? That was what I meant actually. What is the purpose of you sitting there?
Well, like it depends on what I'm doing. Like I'll have sometimes I'll listen to podcasts for like the whole day. And it's a way of like filling the silence with voices, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone.
And what's in this silence? That's why don't you?
Okay,
Venera,
Venera,
go ahead,
he
Isabel.
said that she felt not alone. So this felt not alone is another doorway for you, or
Yeah.
for him, but
Okay,
for you to point it
I
out.
want to make a break. It's like it's not an entry to already going into the process and do possibility coaching. It's about context setting for a possibility coaching session. Therefore, he actually does not even need to say something. Of course, he can say hello and like, hey,
Yeah.
before we start, like, have you ever been in such a session? No. Okay. So I want to share, like, I want to build the context for you. I want to set up the frame, and then you start and bring it from different angles. It's like it's about painting the picture for possibility management and for this coaching session, what he will expect. And then you can use this. For example, yeah, you have this, you bring your this problem with you, this what was it, IT
Addicted in technology.
yeah, addiction in technology. And then okay, and you can take it as a kind of a threat through your context building, but you would not use it as a doorway right away. It would, yeah, bring him first into your space. Of course, he's already here, but nevertheless, he has no idea about possibility management.
Yes.
Like, it's a bit of fake with Jesse, but nevertheless, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I would like to guide you through a process here, so you can find out about why you are addicted to this and what you can do about it. And I will give you some possibilities in going into your feelings that lie behind the addiction, and we're going to discover this. I will not come and tell you like a facet why and how I see it, but trying to discover it with you.
Vianetta,
Yeah, be
Yeah.
with
one
her.
thing,
Great.
just don't say you are saying a lot of
Yes.
Oh, thank you both. This is really something I want to learn, to be more clear, to be more sharp. And because of my fear of not being able to do that, I think it's just a big survival strategy of me to use even more arms or things. Yeah, so thank you. I will definitely take it.
Okay. So you're already through? Of course. Okay. So use the time to collect maybe like the gold nuggets, what you got from the space to bring into the bigger group. Cool.
Empowering to your being. And so the way in which you could shift into a radically responsible place would be to claim your role in the story and look for the doorway to the healing for yourself, and also openly have a conversation with the person that you originally blamed to discover what is there for you two to heal together.
Shall I like wrap it up? You have 2 minutes for you team feedback and coaching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Were those questions your feedback, or was that you like asking me questions after the session as the client?
As the client. That was the only thing when I'm giving you feedback now. That was the only thing that wasn't so. It was just you mention it, but you didn't say anything about it.
Okay.
And what touched me the most was when you have said, "I'm in your team. We are a team here."
Mhm.
And the rest was very clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I saw also your archetypal ego state sayings, what you really learned and you experienced with PM. So I really, I want to listen more and more and more what you want to say. The only thing that I remember to listen to you sometimes help. I'm going to help, and sometimes it seems that I was in a victim moment, like I was feeling like more passive. And you said like more than 2 times, but when you said I'm in your team, and I start to feel again in this active position.
I have a dangerous question. What is it when you are making some?
Welcome back into the space. Great. What did you discover about yourself, about the other coaches? Like what was landing? What was really working for you? What was not working for you? But mainly what was working? What was working?
I think the idea that you're really just saying the same thing in a few different ways and slow enough that it lands, and just keep it to maybe just 3 points, really.
Yeah, I loved working in a team with this, because I noticed each time each person was giving, like there was gold in each one, that by the time the last person went, we'd really found kind of a formula for how, like somehow a way that it works. And I noticed that the amount of information that when we started doing it, it was like just way too much. And that there was this tendency to go into the maps, like somehow to set like it was there was this transition where suddenly the maps were happening. And then Christine gave us this feedback of, you can just say the same thing a couple of times in different ways and go slow and let it land, because the context is not that complicated or that many things to say, but it can be really new, so you can explore different ways of saying it. And so that's what I learned, is that it doesn't need to be fancy, and it just needs to be clear and slow, and not going into the maps, because I notice I've tried this and I accidentally went into the maps, and then people are like glazed over, their eyes are like zoop. So something about keeping it simple and short in some ways, like, yeah, that's what I noticed.
Yeah, thank you.
For me, helpful was a metaphor, yes, about becoming the driver of the ship. This empowering focus.
can you say more about that? Like you as a coach, or
No, me as
that
a client.
Okay, that you would describe this to the client, that you would give this the metaphor.
Yes,
Okay, I got it.
I perceived it as helpful for me as a client, so I would like to give it also to my clients.
We had what came up was that explaining what the box was became a thing that actually sort of went through all three presentations, and yeah, I just noticed that it was very interesting. It was three quite different ways of presenting it, but and it was very helpful, interesting to see those differences.
So is it what you said, you were diving more, like how did you do that? How did you set context by using the map, the box map? Can you say more? Or
Well,
also the team?
Do you want me to respond, or somebody else from the team?
If you want to respond, Aeon, then you will respond.
Well, it just came up. It was a thing that we all three of us sort of and in sort of try to in the explanation of what possibility management or coaching was, that there was this concept of our box as a survival strategy, which was one very central concept that came up. We didn't, none of us explained the 4 feelings or 3 worlds, but the box came up every time. It was just an observation.
Yes, for me it was a great doorway to just explain about possibility coaching, because the possibilities you can see are outside of your box. So in that case, you can refer to the possibilities. You go to our outside of your box, and inside your box is what you know until now, and it's your survival. So that's why this distinction came up.
Cool.
We also have a bit of a discussion about this and so and kind of and sort of the clarity of language that we sort of were mindful of, and all of us sort of sense of power and try to practice and to be very clear in the delivery. And I think that's a never-ending exercise.
Yeah, and also, yeah.
No, what was the word for that, Nicole? For these words?
Filler words.
Filler words.
Filler, yeah, filling words, yeah.
Talk without filler words.
Yeah, and what I also heard in 1 or 2 groups, that the pace became slower. It's not about shooting every information onto the client, and at the beginning it's like this tendency of I wanna say it all at once, and then it's just overwhelming. And to slow down, focus on 3 or 4 bites, I would call them, and then share this from different angles and different pictures and maybe examples, or even asking a question and then weave this in. It's like, how does it land in you? And then you can even use the client as a kind of a sounding board, if it lands or not. Yeah. Anything else?
One of the most effective things to me was starting with saying, I'm going to set some context for our time about possibility coaching, because that's why you came to me. Like, I didn't know how to introduce the subject. I went first, and I just jumped in. So I think that was great.
Cool. Super.
I discovered about, like, I received the feedbacks about my be nice and not like not make the client uncomfortable, and I received the possibility to, like, for example, use much more anger and like, probably you hate me, and my job will be done if you hate me. So like this thing landed me like in this way of my box freaking out, like so much fear of be dangerous. And this is my next emotional healing process, like this freaking out that I find is this edge in this setting context and trying to be nice and less anger and losing clarity.
Thank you, Gabriela, for bringing this into the space. The next breakout room will be about landing the map, and we collected the different kind of maps, and you can choose one which you are not comfortable yet with. Not the easiest one, but the most dangerous one, because so that you harvest enough wisdom from your team. They will give you feedback and coaching. And Jesse?
This is any map or one of the ones that was mentioned at the beginning of the call?
Yeah.
Do you have a list of the maps that were mentioned?
Aeon?
You have a list of the maps that were mentioned in the beginning?
Like, I wrote them down. Probably like choose one of the first ones coming into your mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And you have 8 minutes in the groups of 4, and in the group of 3 you have 10 minutes. And the group of 3, please coordinate the shift on your own. When I'm not in the room, when I'm in the room, I will give you the 10 minutes, and if not, organize you on yourself. And the amount, like the time, will tick down on the right side in the right corner again. So there are 32 minutes, and then have fun.
Which are outside of your box. We will crack it open, and then you will enter a liquid state. Within this state, you don't know who you are. It's like, it can be scary. It feels dangerous because your box is cracked open. You're out. Your survival strategy doesn't work anymore. So you're literally going to change the shape of your being, and this is what we call being liquid. And this is a very important phase within possibility coaching, because without being liquid, nothing will change. Only by being in this liquid state, you can create a new form for yourself. And then from there, you can tap into new possibilities, which are outside of that old box you created. So you're literally going to change the shape of your being. And then from there, your box will again create a new box, but a bigger one. It's expanded. And then from there, you can go liquid again. So it's an ongoing process of growing, of being liquid, and reshape and grow and reshape.
Jennifer, instead of can, use another word. So it gets even more precise.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. And what if I don't want to be liquid?
What if you don't want to be liquid? What's the purpose of this question? What's your fear about being liquid?
Yeah, I feel fear to be liquid. It sounds like really, too much for me. Be liquid and then be in the box, be liquid, then like.
Yeah, so this fear is coming from your box. This
Jennifer,
is little.
Probably this is how you will lose her. I don't know, you can ask Isabel how this lands. If you, she's already frightened, right? Like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. Nevertheless, it's like stay on track and say, okay, I can see you are scared. Nevertheless, this is the ticket. This is what I can provide. It's like, stay clear, because you are still setting the context. Don't weaken it because she's scared. It's like, yeah, it will be scary. It will be really scary, and I'm with you, but it will be scary. It will not go away. It's like, if you walk this path, and you have the choice to stay here, and probably you come with the next choice is one of the superpowers you have, and you can bring then the next one of the next maps, or you can point out you have the choice. I'm not forcing you to something. There's a part in you coming into this space. A part in you wanted to be here, and I want to talk to this part. For example, this could be a bridge. This, yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. I'm flying further.
Okay.
Good.
Do we have time?
A person that's waiting that me save you. You
Beep. I just want to interrupt that you have 2.5 minutes left of your 8 minutes. If you use the full 8 minutes, or if you want feedback on the, I'm a little unsure about the exercise. Oh, maybe Christine can shed light on that. Should we use the full 8 minutes, or should we include some time for feedback, Christine?
I want the
Go
feed.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Gabriela wants feedback, so
I want the feedbacks, please.
go.
Okay, so you've got 2 minutes for feedback.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Gabriela, for the distinction. I felt that was landing to me, and I felt also that at the end of when you start to say what I'm going to to have in my life, assuming responsibility, radical responsibility, like really not giving not just the examples from the society, but also for myself, like, if I am responsible, what I will, if I have this radical responsibility. Do you hear me well?
Yes, cut a little bit, but I take it what you said.
Okay.
I found that I was sometimes a little bit confused about because you were going back a bit back and forth. You said something about these child, adult, and I think that would have been very instructive to have. Like, I was missing a little bit like a framework, a clear framework of what it is you're trying to explain, and a little bit too many details that left me a little bit confused.
Cool.
Yeah. What worked was the way where the examples that you gave about the different levels and how you engaged Marina in that, and it was interactive. And I feel that the map is the map of cultural creatives. It's not the map of responsibility, right?
What is the name of the map?
Cultural creatives.
I don't know this map. My intention was deliver the radical responsibility map.
Okay. I don't know what to say, but yeah.
You can
make
a date and have a conversation about it, and then now shift to the next person.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Who goes next?
Ion, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, let me go then. I'm just starting my watch here. I think I would like to present the map of mixed emotions, which I found is a very powerful tool, because we are emotional beings, and most of what we do is based in emotions, our impulses, and many of our troubles have a strong emotional component.
Just a second, Beep. Who is your client?
Oh, sorry. Beep, sorry. Yes, who is my client? Who wants to be the client here?
Me.
Okay, Charlotte, sorry for that. So I'll just begin over. Welcome, Charlotte. And to begin this session, I'm going to be trying to explain a map, one of the maps that we work with. And this is the map of unmixing emotions, which is a core tool in the possibility coaching. And to understand the unmixing of emotion, we need to understand first that we have 4 core emotions which are alive in our bodies. And then we have certain mixing of these which can appear as emotions, but are very difficult to work with because they are mixed. So the four core, yes?
Leo, I have a proposal to brief a little bit more and say the words with more precisely and more clarity, like letting your words landing in Charlotte, so you give a little bit more space to your words flow in your speech. Shift go.
Okay, all right. So the four fundamental emotional powers we have is anger, which is an energy we use to set boundaries. We have sadness, which connects us to
fear, anger, sadness. This is how this navigation is a navigation into the feelings, the emotions that have been repressed and are held in our bodies. And this will be my job as your possibility coach, is to navigate with you and help you navigate into your underworld so that you can get information and energy from the emotions that you have stored away to create new possibilities and new decisions for your life.
Who's your client?
I have feedback for you.
Okay.
Nicole.
Thank you, Jesse.
One of the pieces that for me is helpful about this map is that in modern culture, the orientation, the arrangement of the three worlds is middle world in the middle, underworld underneath, and archetypal domain above. And the novel thing about the map is that you're switching the location of the underworld with the middle world, so that the middle world's down here, and you have to go through the underworld to get to the upper world. So that distinction is really helpful because it gives a visualization. It reorders.
Yeah,
It pulls the rug out and reorders,
right,
so that you have to go through one to get to the other. And then there's this arrow that tries to subvert, which is the New Age arrow that tries to subvert the underworld and go straight to the upper domain. So just to give you the visual of the map.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the one other piece that I felt could have helped give more context is you gave the piece about emotions being this energy that's stuck in the underworld, but the other part is feelings are the thing that can give you access to the archetypal domain. Feeling energies are still exist in the middle world and the archetypal domain, not just in the underworld.
I don't know if I missed the part, but I would like to have more clarity about why do you need to go to the underworld first and have all this feeling? What's the purpose of this? So make it very clear the point of why do we need to go in the underworld? No, you said that you cannot go to the upper world unless you go to the underworld, but why? This is something I'm very curious about.
Jesse, do you want to say something?
Yeah, what I heard, what I heard from Nicole was that the emotions get stuck in the body, and there's secrets, there's all kinds of things that are stuck. And so without going into the underworld, those things go with us. You know, they don't get loosened up or dealt with, healed.
Yeah, another distinction that can be helpful in this map is that trying to go and reach for the upper domain, the archetypal domain, without acknowledging and spending time in the underworld is fantasy. And what is fantasy? Fantasy is underworld. So you try and go up and you end up down. you try and go to the upper world because you're this aspirational, I want to feel better, I want to feel great, I want ecstasy, I want bliss, I want only good vibrations. Well, where do you end up? You end up in the underworld.
You're saying if you if you don't go through the underworld to get to the upper world, then you're in the underworld because you're denial, basically.
Yeah, you're betraying yourself. You're fooling yourself. You're pretending, and pretending is a shadow action. It's like you think as if, and as if it's just bullshit. It's everything is bullshit, but nevertheless, it's not the helpful bullshit
It's
we're
useless
talking
bullshit.
about. Yeah, cool. So you have 2 more minutes, and then no, actually no. You're
Should
shifting
switch.
to the next person. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. 16 minutes. Great. Who's next?
I'll be the next.
Great. Do you have a coach? Not a coach, a client on the other side? Who do you talk to?
Somebody
Because-
wants to be my
Yeah,
client.
ask, because it's really helpful to look at one person and deliver.
Yeah.
the
Does somebody here wants to be my client?
Okay,
Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
I'm going to talk about a map, and I will talk about the map over the what's called the box, and straight. The box is like a defense mechanism that we all have, and we all have different. It can be put together of a lot of facets from our life. It can be old habits. It can be a part of our box.
I want to invite you to first find your center again and ground. Like I think you kind of you wobble and you lose your center and ground, and so you lift off the ground. Then speak to her. So you have a box. So when make it point this at her. Point it at her. You have a box, Nicole, and then go.
Thank you, Jessie. Go ahead.
And yeah.
How did you recognize that? Can you?
Because I had the impression that your energetic center was more like a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it is also something to do with your internet. Somehow it is like a little bit slow.
Thank you. And I also have a question. How did it work with the tree when I explained the stories with the picture of the tree? Did that land?
For me, not. It was like a little bit too much. Also, when you say, you need to put it out, it was like, I'm a newbie. I don't know what you're speaking about. And at least in this moment, it wasn't landing.
What map did you deliver?
The story map.
The story map. Like the irresponsible and responsible story, or?
Yes.
Okay, probably I would not do this in a coaching session. This is it's one of the main maps in an expand the box. It's not something what you would only deliver in a coaching session, because there's a whole process before, and then afterwards the like which story is true will come. And I would not start with this. You can probably say in a side sentence like, we are story makers, and we are creating all day long like stories, but I would not use this map exactly, like, because you can also land these distinctions what comes with the map in other maps, because it's about radical responsibility. It's about taking a stand for what they produce, and you use more the low drama map. There you can weave it in, right? Okay,
Thank you.
cool. Who's next?
It's me.
Go ahead.
So I provide the map of ego states. We have different ego states in us.
I'm sorry, who are you talking to?
To you, Jennifer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I tell you this shortly, this ego, it is the adult ego state. This one we are looking for, because in this state you are able to feel your feelings and to navigate your life. Then there is the parent ego state, and you can distinguish a parent ego state out of voices, like inner voices telling you something, for example, you should do. When you are telling yourself you should do something, probably it is the parent ego state, something that you got from your parents or from society, and you incorporated that. So it is not easy to recognize it. Does that land?
Make some examples. Make it even more that it and let it land in her. For example,
Yeah.
and then I should.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, I should do more garden work, or I should be more present in my family.
Yeah, so
And
it's real, and how you can do it. You tune into her, because these are her shoulds actually. You're using your scanner already there, and you talk to her. The garden work, I don't know if this really lands in her. It's probably your should. It's not her should.
yeah,
Like her should is about something totally different.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I observe that your eyes are blinking very fast. Is it difficult for you to listen, or can you tell me how are you at the moment?
I am very interested in what you're saying about these parent ego states and the shoulds. I can recognize that within myself, that I do that a lot. And I usually blink a lot.
Okay.
When I watch replays, I'm like, what's that? But I don't know how to stop.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Cool. And then you could even
So
say,
you know,
oh, yeah, and ask her, what are your should sentences? And then you go to the next. Weave her in.
so you know your shoulds. Can you tell me some examples?
Yes, I should a lot of myself. I'm like, I should clean the house. I should do the laundry. I should, I have a lot of shoulds to have the house clean, which are definitely not my own shoulds. When I hear you're talking about the parent ego state, yeah, I realize that.
Yeah. Okay. So your shoulds are more in the space of housekeeping, cleaning.
At this moment, yes.
And yes. And there is an instrument how to deal with such voices. And it is called the voice blaster. So you have some energetic instruments and you just take this voice blaster and make bang. It is one possibility. Whenever you hear such voices with shoulds, you just make bang to them. You need not to listen to them anymore. Then the child ego state, you can recognize also like inner sentences, and they are more in questions. Am I allowed? Also mixed feelings are a part of child ego state. It is like if something out from the past is coming at the surface and you don't act in your normal adult way, you recognize, okay, there is something going on. And that child ego states are doorways to do emotional healing processes.
How do I recognize that? Can you give an example also?
Yes, for example, when you feeling overwhelmed, when something is happening in your daily life and you react or overreact, then this can be a sign, or this is a sign that you are in a child ego state. And this reaction you can use as a doorway for an EHP.
Probably with a new client, I would not say EHP, I would call it the whole name and what is it, for example. Like, okay, this is an emotional healing process, so these triggers are for healing purpose. So.
Good.
Isabel, stay with her.
Yes.
Great. So I'm flying to the next. Thank you.
So I do another.
So the middle world is when you do the ordinary things, like when you do your things and just being in this automatic pilot, paying taxes and doing your obligations and just being someone good for the government and when you do the upper world, for example, when you do your actions in the upper world will be taking radical responsibility about your life and really creating the life that you want, and also creating space for other people to
Marina?
Yes.
There is 3 minutes left. Do you want feedbacks?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that I'm sorry to say it was very confusing and didn't make a lot of sense. And you made some strange things saying that the gremlin is living in the upper world and modern culture has a middle world. I mean, it is just like three realms. The upper world is the bright principles. The middle world is the world we live in, the reality that we experience. In the underworld, our shadow principles. So I just found it was very, very confusing, the presentation. And I would suggest that you sort of read up on what these three worlds really are, because it seems like you don't really have a grasp of what it is. And so it becomes a mess. Sorry, I tried to say that.
No, thank you. Thank you.
What, Marina,
What do you? Mm-hmm.
One possibility is you when you asked it to him and he said, I didn't understand what you said, you started to explain all the math again. And one possibility is when you ask it, you make clear, like, as I said, middle word is logistics. So what is the logistics in your life? And we started to build up the map with him, like to not keep distant, but deliver the map with him, like making question and bringing what he says to your explanation, to your delivering. So you are with him, you're not distant from here. This is one possibility.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
And I think you can also start by talking about how the three worlds are, generally experienced in modern culture, how like the middle world is here and the underworld is here, and how we, like starting with that as kind of, it's also like there's an old map and a new map within this map.
Yeah. Because actually the main distinction, and it's actually funny because it also was in the other space, the other breakout, that there's like in modern society people say you have the middle world, down is the underworld, and up is the upper world. But actually, like in possibility management, we say this is the middle world, and we need to go through our shadow world to reach the archetypal domain. So it's more like a sandwich, and it builds up. And there's no if you cope or if you bypass, then you're actually also believing that like a fantasy world, and fantasy world is actually it's a shadow world. So, cool.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
I'm closing the breakout, and then you have 30 seconds.
Thank you. Marina,
Yes.
Marina, I just want to say that I think.
Oh.
Sorry. I just pressed enter right as you, and then.
Great.
Bye.
The others arriving. That's good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to escape so quickly, team.
Ah, okay.
She was on my tail.
I'm going to the back.
On my dragon tail. Jumped on.
What was on your tail?
Charlotte.
Me.
Charlotte was on my dragon tail.
Okay.
The next legend is born. Okay. Welcome back into the space. Let's have all a deep breathe in and land here in this space. And what are the findings? And the cat has definitely some things to say. So what have you to say? What are the findings, the things that worked and also did not work, so we can learn from each other?
What worked was to also tell about my own story, my own experience with that, and also to scan the other person to just recognize what is there, and also to be connected with my anger, and to be connected with my space holding, my space and the space of the other person, like to really make a cube around me and the other person. I recognize it in the first group. I didn't have that, and now I did it, and it was a difference for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got 2 times the feedback to use more my anger, to speak more clear, and to be less like wobbly. And I I'm learning to, it was great coaching for me also to really land distinctions, like to use your anger to land the distinctions. And yeah, for me, it's a great practice to really talk with less words and be more clear and just land it without saying things twice or yeah. So my personal great feedback, which I will take with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Yeah, what I found something. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Marina.
I just
will
want
say
to
after.
add. Yeah, I want just to add about the dangerous, to be in a dangerous place here in this coaching training, because I'm here also for that. Like to choose the most dangerous map for me was also using my fear to navigate and just having this opportunity to go and see what it is going like, and having the team to be with me. So I just want to recognize that. And also Christina said that I was using the word can very many times, and so it was also very helpful to see and to scan myself when I was using the words can, like you can do that, I can do this, like.
And I want to discover that when someone uses the word you instead we, landed so much more. Instead, like we do it, we believe it. It's like when you're delivering a map, the you like direct more to land and land in the bodies.
Yeah, and Jennifer, what you said is using your anger has also a differentiation for me, at least when I'm offline and online. Like having a person in front of me, of course, I'm using a certain amount of anger, and I use more anger online because somehow I need to go through the screen over the ocean somewhere and hit another screen and then hit the body. So my tone is online much more almost aggressive, and someone would listen to me maybe from the outside, like fierce and directed. And when I'm with a person, I would say I have more sadness in my voice than, but still the anger needs to be on a certain amount of like 25 minimum, so that it lands in the person. And with online, yeah, it's about 30, 32. It's definitely higher. So practice or like research what works for you online and offline. And I know, Jennifer, you are doing also like the rage work, and there you also need even more anger, right? Especially when you have a rage session. It's like if you would use less than 25% of rage, it would not open the gates what is necessary. Yeah. So it's also context. The setting is also defines how much anger you will use.
Yeah, for me also what I explored was I also choose a map that I was afraid of to explain, and I was insecure. And by getting the people use your anger and just start talking with using my anger, I was like, oh wow, I can say things anyway without being very sure or like secure about what I want to say. But just the energy is different of landing distinctions anyway.
Yeah, and also what I noticed by moving around in the different spaces, that there was sometimes a tendency of kind of performing and not being with the client, right? Like now I'm delivering a map, and then it's like I'm holding my speech and I'm not with the other with the client anymore. Who did you notice this also? Like, yeah. And this is this I think this is what is necessary to build the bridge. Also, not completely finish your map, but make gaps and reach out and bring them in, and then the next portion. Actually, the same thing what happens in the expand the box. Like the trainer would not deliver the whole map and then turn around and say, so now here I am. But the trainer is also with the person, with the team, with the group, while he or she is delivering it. And that's just the same thing. Like, make a pause, check in. Did this land? Are there any questions? And if yes, just say it in a different way. Let it land from a different angle. Yeah.
What I noticed with you, Christine, is when you came to our room, I give my center to you and somehow relaxed. And I'm angry because of that. I just, yeah, I forgot to be there with my sword and to give feedback. And I will keep that in my attention for the next time.
Great. I'm counting on you. Cool.
Something I noticed was that my story is that I delivered the map as I had it in me. And then when I got the coaching, it built the map in me even more. And this is, yes, I highly recommend doing this in our 3 and 4 cells, in our extra calls in the week, to do this while we have a coaching, so that we can get the maps even more in ourselves, so then we can deliver that into the person as if they're kind of, instead of drawing the map on a piece of paper, they're the piece of paper, and our words and our energy are the markers.
Yay. Yeah, what a great bridge. Like, Nicole and me, we were noticing that not all flyers were posted. So the question is, what is holding you back? And I want to throw the ball back to you, into your 3 and 4 cells, that you discover this. What is, like, that there's one person discovering what is holding me back, but the team is asking, hey, what is holding you back? And how can we support you? That these 2 questions are for in your next meeting, 20 minutes, you're shifting 5 minutes each. This is my proposal, that you get clear what is really holding you back, if you held your back, right? Like, and
if there isn't something, if your flyer's ready to go, then what about next steps? What about getting it out there, finding your people to practice with? And if you have people to practice with, a possibility about that is to pass them on to your 3-cell, 4-cell teams, to cross-pollinate, so that winning can be happening where there's lots of clients, bridge them to where there's not so many.
yeah, we had.
So what is the suggestion with these flyers? Is that we send them out and find a couple of clients a week and practice, or what is the specific suggestion?
Like, the suggestion is that you find minimum 2 clients that you practice, and clients who have no idea about possibility management, and that you have.
Just 2 clients, or 2 clients a week, or what are we talking about?
You can. It's now about practicing. So you can do how many you want. We say minimum 2 for this next for the next week and for the next 2 weeks. First find them, and then make the arrangements and start from 0. It's like, okay, this is, and learn the steps. And some are more trained in these steps, and some less. That's why ask your team, like, okay, this is my next step, and the team can say, how can we support you in this? whatever it is. It's like everyone is on a different edge.
And use your team with even if you have your flyer, use your team and get coaching and feedback about your flyer, so that your flyer, which is maybe the first thing a client's going to see of you, already is delivering this clarity and possibility.
Yeah, and not only your team, because you posted it in the chat. Also, if you see their feedback and coaching, what you wanna give, go ahead. I started also, and I'm also going through all the flyers and will give feedback and coaching. But you do too. It's like, it's not me. I know how it works. It's like we know how it works all together. Cool, team. I feel glad. Anything else from anyone else?
I have a question, and perhaps you can say something about it next time, about the word being dangerous. Can I also translate that in being present and being clear? Or is there more?
Dangerous, when you would say to a client, this is dangerous territory, or what do you, how would you use it?
I mean, now in our context, when we in this team tell each other be more dangerous.
Ask instantly, what do you mean? Give me coaching, you know? Because it can be different ways how you can be, you are dangerous. Probably asking more dangerous question, or using more anger, or yeah, of course, stay centered. That's the basic. But
Okay.
there are different ways of being dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question is dangerous to what? So I'm dangerous to what? I'm dangerous to the box. I'm dangerous to modern culture. I'm dangerous to the status quo. What am I being dangerous to? And that to me gives context to this word danger, because you're threatening to destabilize or dismantle something. You are threatening to dismantle something.
Thank you, that lands.
Cool. Thank you. So then, this was it today. For today, we see each other next week, and stay connected through the chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you, team.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.